One of the things that struck me particularly about the church in Wales when I arrived here is the number of churches dedicated to the Celtic saints, many of whom I'd never heard of before. Very few churches in Wales are dedicated to the saints that abound in the dedications of the English churches. Rather, they testify to a strand of Christianity that was brought to this country not so much from England as from across the seas, most notably Brittany, Ireland and Scotland. One such saint is St Brigid, whose feast day was yesterday, February the 1st. I hold a particular fondness for St Brigid because it was on her day last year that I was enthroned in Newport Cathedral as Bishop of Monmouth. As a gift to mark the occasion, I was given a Brigid's cross. This is it. Traditionally, such crosses were made from woven straw or rushes, and if you look carefully, you can see the markings that represent the weaving. The crosses were hung over the doors as a sign of welcome and protection. As you can see, mine sits on a wall just inside my front door and is a reminder as I go in and out of my home of St Brigid, my enthronement, and God's call on me to serve him here. The gift was from the 4 churches dedicated to St Brigid, or St Bride as she's sometimes known, in the Diocese of Monmouth. The churches are St Bride's, Wentlug, St Brigid, Llan Sant Fried, St Brigid, Skenfrith, and the church in Netherwent known as both St Brigid and St Bride's. Given the lockdowns that have been in place for most of the last year, I've not been able to visit all of them, but I have managed to get to 2. In February last year, just a fortnight after my enthronement, Storm Dennis struck, and the small hamlet of Skenfrith was flooded, the second time that the River Monnow had broken its banks in 4 months. I was able to visit the church soon afterwards and to meet some of the congregation. It wasn't an ideal occasion for a first visit, but even in the mess that the floods had left, I could get a sense of the history and distinctiveness of the Grade 1 listed building, with its pyramid roof and dovecote belfry, as well as the faithfulness of the church members. Then, just before Christmas, I went to St Bride's, Wentlug, to take their Sunday service. After the months of lockdown, it was good to be able to get out and about and visit at least some of the churches for worship on a Sunday. Though again, by the time I visited St Bride's in Wentlug, we were on the verge of another lockdown. In a freezing church, and us all wearing masks, it wasn't the best of circumstances in which to meet some of the faithful folk of the diocese, though the welcome was very warm. It's been a strange first year to be a bishop, and one that has brought immense challenges, not just for me, but for all of us. It's for this reason that I want to share with you the prayer that is written on the back of the card that came with the gift of the cross. It speaks well into the situation that we find ourselves, a situation that we couldn't have begun to imagine on the feast day of St Brigid last year. Brigid, you were a woman of peace. You brought harmony where there was conflict. You brought light to the darkness. You brought hope to the downcast. May the mantle of your peace cover those who are troubled and anxious, and may peace be firmly rooted in our hearts and in our world. inspire us to act justly and to reverence all God has made. Brigid, you were a voice for the wounded and the weary. Strengthen what is weak within us. Calm us into a quietness that heals and listens. May we grow each day into greater wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. Amen.